pile number one. Hello. If you chose the Labradorite chunk, this is going to be your reading. I think the cool thing about this piece is it's like multicolored, as you can see. Has some golds, some greens and blues, and a little bit of purple if you look hard enough. This was a piece gifted to me from one of my clients. I am deeply, deeply appreciative of her. If you would like to book a personal session, speaking of, I am open to those. So your card is, some people don't love seeing this card. I personally, it is one of my favorite cards. Being a shadow worker, I think I tend to appreciate endings and really find the value in things that people would normally not necessarily find value in. So I did pull these three from the deck. I want to show you guys because this is the after tarot. So this is a little bit different than the original deck. So here is the original. And by comparison, it is supposed to depict moments after the original. So we have the original and then moments after. And something I want to note is that there is now two more cycles, two more deaths, so to speak. And there's been a progression of sorts. Now, labradorite is, or laboradite, lab, depending on who you are, how you say it, laboradite, labradorite, whichever the case. This is incredible for third eye activations. So if you are having some sort of like mental, the word reformation is coming up. Maybe you're like reforming the way you perceive things or reforming the way you think about things. And maybe you're starting to trust your intuition or something has happened where you're like, I can trust my intuition a little bit more. So give me some clarity on, that's too many. I'm only pulling one at a time and I'm not going to pull reversals. Right, so give me some clarity on that death card, please. For pile number one. Okay. With someone you are in relationship with, romantic, platonic, professional, and or otherwise. There is something that you understand about the progression, and I think it's something that you see. I kept hearing the word avoidance whenever I was setting these cards up, so I think that this reading might be something about what you are avoiding. I opened this up with talking about shadow work. I feel like it's fitting. So I cannot, and I hope that YouTube doesn't flag me. Maybe I'll, if you see a little bit of a blip that got cut out, it's because the devil card has nudity and like YouTube policy is not okay with that. Um, I am actually going to take these three. Yeah. Okay. Yes. I'm going to flip this one over, however. So I'm going to put this here. I'll put this one kind of as a marker to remind you. Okay, and let's remember this is the devil. So, death and the devil. Oof. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that's great. I will say, actually, you need some clarification for that devil spirit. Tell me more about what this is. World. Okay, yeah. So this is something that is coming to some sort of completion. The devil represents addictive behaviors, tendencies, limiting beliefs, things that hold you back. Um, okay. Yes. So I will say something with reciprocity. There is no, oh man, that's a nip. Okay. If you see it blipped out again, just letting you guys know, I need to like I guess I need to get another deck of cards. I don't want to draw on this card deck. I mean, you can see it's like, so there's something with that. Like you've been in this process a long time. There's a progression. You don't want to let it go, right? Um, or something is that it has been going for a long time. You know that you need to let it go. These cards, this is my oldest deck. This is my oldest deck of cards. I don't want to change anything on this deck. I don't want to draw on this deck. I would rather buy a brand new deck specifically for YouTube than draw on this deck because it's so meaningful to me. So I really will say, because this is it's not going to happen. I'm not going to change this deck. And there's this energy here of that, like not wanting to change or not wanting to shift or just not wanting to progress forward. So also it's interesting that these two had to be flipped over. This is literally the devil, and then this is the world. So like something coming to a completion relative to addictive cycles, addictive tendencies, things that hold us back. It's definitely something I'm going to say that you both see, because this Queen of Pentacles is looking down here like, what if, is this something I want to continue, like relative to a job, relative to a relationship, relative to a career. And then he is looking directly at the addictive tendency. So actually, because I pulled more clarification cards, I'm going to put this down here. Yeah, so this is something with like reciprocity, or maybe this King of Wands hasn't been investing as much into, actually this was this way when I pulled it out. I am so sorry. A little bit of chaos, a little bit of confusion. Maybe that's why this Queen of Pentacles, because again, the Queen of Pentacles is very sure. Maybe there's been some back and forth, flipping, flopping. And there's just, a lack of balance, a lack of reciprocity. And we need to talk about it. Honestly, we need to talk about it. For advice. Yeah. Or perhaps, this is a job and you're not getting paid enough. And so you're like, I'm going to go ahead and, there's not fairness, there's not equality. They really are appreciating all of my hard work without really giving me that appreciation and compensation back. There's no, again, balance, there's no equilibrium. And so we need to have a conversation about it. So, Spirit, what is the advice here? What is the advice here? And I'm using the animal deck. So we have the advice is the Eight of Cups. Just getting tangled up. I'm not going to take that one. One at a time, please, Spirit. Don't overwhelm me. Dropping a bunch of cards. The Two of Cups. Yeah, I would say this is like relationship or even a partnership, some kind of collaborative effort, some kind of boss situation, some kind of job situation, romantic, friendship, platonic, whatever this is for you, situational, right? Situationship, whatever this is for you, maybe let me pull some more. Oh, chaos. Okay, yeah. See, this is why I didn't want too many. I'm not taking those. I keep hearing I've invested enough. I've invested enough, right? This Ace of Cups. Yeah. Oh man, I feel like there's this energy of like focusing on oneself. Like when I see the Two of Cups, Ace of Cups, Temperance, the Fool, maybe you're thinking about being like single. Maybe you're thinking about, or maybe you guys are thinking about doing something different. Or that Ace of Cups under the King of Wands, maybe he's looking at this Devil card and he's like, oh my God, like I don't love myself. And therefore I'm really dropping the ball here, not able to show up for my Queen of Pentacles, or, like use the reverse the things if it's, applicable to you. But the advice here is like, to focus on healing and gentleness and this newfound sort of thing. Like I almost feel like you know what you need to do. And this is just, if that's the case, this is just confirmation for you. But yeah, wow, look at that. Freaking Page of Cups. Yeah. Offerings of love. This You consider mediation, therapy. I really feel like paying attention to this devil card here is going to be like paying attention and just kind of looking down, or like right down the barrel at the problem at hand, talking about it, addressing it, and starting a new cycle relative to addressing it. Because again, I think there's something here with like self-love. So if this person is not willing, because a lot of times, okay, a lot of times when I see addiction, I see avoidance. And when I see avoidance or I see that's like that grasping for something outside of oneself to sort of soothe one's nervous system, a lot of it has to do with a lack of an overflow of the self, right? Because if you're able to be with yourself, to truly be with yourself, you don't experience that like shaky desire to go drink or to go party or to go hook out like whatever your devil is for you, so to speak, defensiveness, pride, ego, whatever it is for you, whenever you have an overflowing relationship with the self. And when I say that, I don't just mean like good vibes only. Let's go have tea and freaking do masks and have little spa days. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. Sometimes, real integrative shadow work is like the thing that helps you step out of shame. And again, when you start doing shadow work, and that's kind of what I was talking about at the beginning, when you start doing shadow work, your life goes into like major transformations. But I will say with the Fool, this I feel like this journey, and I get a heavy addiction recovery journey and use that as applies, but I get such a heavy like I, what is the outcome if we do it with gentleness, if we do it with grace, if we do it the way we're supposed to, so to speak? What is the outcome for swords? Okay. Um, for swords, well, judgment and the four of pentacles. Um, it's also very possible that you are just at the end of your cycle, like honestly. Because again, I still feel this sort of pause. Yeah, like, do I want to continue to do this? Do I want to continue to invest in this? Do I want to continue, because the more I continue, and again, it's like I feel this tiredness almost, like you've been around the bend so many times, and this is something you see it. Maybe you're getting dreams, and I don't see the dream card here, but I will say that this is one of my like dreamier stones. But the stone of intuition nonetheless. Um, maybe you're afraid to, okay, hold on. Maybe you're afraid to go out on your own. There might be a fear of going out on one's own, or like this Queen of Pentacles is a very capable queen, and she is looking at her pentacle. She is not looking at the devil like the king is. She is looking at her pentacle. And so maybe there's something to do with money. I was like, what's the outcome if we do it correctly? Um, and this is the loss card. It feels like even if I almost feel like it's at the point that even if they do get the help, it's this like, I'm happy you're doing better. Like you love this person, but you're happy they're doing better. You know, you're happy they're doing better. And sometimes that's all you can, it's or yeah, no, you know, there has to be some kind of conclusion because it's like the longer you wait, the more you drag this on. Look at the continuation. Like there's literally like a like a wake in a wake of devastation essentially. And the sun here, like this is something that's been revealed to you. The sun is coming up. It's we're further along. It's more illuminated. It's not like it's nothing has changed. It's just the same thing, and you know that you are going to be the one that has to walk away and make this new beginning happen. And I will say, being that this is the end of the advice line, it's probably one of the most important. Um, Eight of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles, walking away from things that no longer emotionally serve you, even if it feels like you're going upstream. Yeah. And sometimes making I don't know if I can cuss, maybe, who, into something valuable here with beetle medicine. I hope that helps. Hello, pile number two. If you chose the lapis lazuli, this is going to be your reading. Your card is the Two of Pentacles. However, we are working with the After Tarot deck instead of the original deck. So I pulled out each of these cards to kind of like show you the comparison to the original to the After Tarot because it kind of shows like this progression. The idea of this reading is that we're going to focus on what you have been avoiding. So with that said, let's begin. Yeah, so with the Two of Pentacles, maybe there's some kind of juggling, some kind of indecision. Maybe you're trying to make a choice on which path you're going to take. However, there has been, I think, a little bit too much stalling. And maybe there's mental confusion. Maybe there is a bit of a lack of clarity. Maybe there's a lot going on because I will say with like lapis lazuli, for example, you can kind of see how there's pyrite mixed in. Well, I don't know if you can see it necessarily on this camera, but there's like pyrite mixed in and all of these like beautiful minerals. So it's not just, this blue color. There's a lot of really, really beautiful things to this. And I will say, there's a richness to the hue in this particular piece. And I will also say that because of the connection that lapis lazuli has to certain like political things, and I'm not going to say anything because I don't want it to flag on my account. This is not a political account, but because of the political affiliations, let's just say this: you have Google, use your Google. This might be a controversial sort of thing, and that's why there's this juggling, this indecision, sort of taking a step back, really wanting to get mental clarity more than the last. Like labradorite is much more of like a dreamy third eye energy. This one is a little bit more clean cut. So maybe there's this need for, and again, having the specks of pyrite, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of clarity in a really clean cut forward movement sort of way. Because I will say, right, this Two of Pentacles in the original deck, he is, kind of making a decision, but the ships are still coming in, right? So he has a little bit of time. In this one, he is turned around, still juggling, and the ships are leaving. They are no longer there. They might have arrived and or they are leaving. They may not necessarily wait around forever. So, it's time to make a decision, essentially. So I'm going to pull clarification cards from this animal tarot deck. Give me a couple of clarification cards for this Two of Pentacles Spirit for pile two. So if you've been seeing lots of twos, that could be significant. Been seeing angel numbers, that could be significant. We have the Five of Pentacles. We have the Five of Pentacles clarifying the Two of Pentacles. Maybe you're considering, okay, that's way too many, Spirit. I'm not taking it. Maybe you're considering like how much this is going to cost or how much you may end up losing, or you might be really focused on the loss rather than, give me like one at a time. I'll take it, whatever that makes sense. You might be focused on the loss rather than the gain, or there might be a move or some kind of relocation that has to happen. Oh, got this. Take it. Knight of Pentacles. Give me one more. If the Knight of Pentacles needs to come up, it will. The Emperor. That we have Justice. Okay. Let's look at Justice. Justice, Nine of Pentacles, Six of Cups. Okay. Okay. Knight of Cups, Three of King of Cups, Knight of Cups. Is this the same? This feels like it's the same person. Like how you are, again, kind of like perceiving yourself almost. Okay. 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 Give me some clarity on this Emperor, please. Because is this perhaps usually the Emperor is a major arcana card and it's about like the person I'm reading for, but I actually just don't either, and I feel like this is going to be a mix of both. Either you are feeling like you're not up to the task to do the thing with the person, the collaboration, or they are not necessarily feeling like they are up to the task, right? Because there's this weighing of the options, considering money, finances, financial, I would say strain, although what is this Five of Pentacles? Being that it came out alone. What is this? Okay, yeah, that's like a big freaking deal, right? Two truths, but on either side, spirit, two truths flipped over. Emotional dissatisfaction and like this new beginning. So I see a lot of emotion, but a lot of like physical, tangible stuff. And again, we have this page of course. This is someone maybe that you're talking to back and forth communication. Maybe it's like a new landlord. Maybe this is like someone that's renovating, helping you renovate something, or maybe it's like a contractor, something to that effect, or someone that you, maybe someone you're considering taking a loan out, considering just like there's this like just feeling of a huge decision, a huge move, a huge thing, this new beginning that you're wanting to do. And it's almost like, okay, so if I go with this one, what is the outcome for the Four of, Cups? What are we looking at here? What are we looking at with this Four of Cups? That is way too many, my friend. Give me like one. What are we looking at here with the Four of Cups? Nine of Swords and Four of Wands. It's like a victory, but almost like that stresses you out and doesn't necessarily fill you emotionally. So is it a victory? And I think that's kind of what you're asking yourself. Is it truly a victory if you are not fulfilled emotionally and it stresses you the heck out? Is it truly a victory? Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, new beginning. Yeah, dude, there's another person involved. Maybe even two. Maybe even two. Hmm. Maybe you're trying to decide between two people and you're trying to make like it's stressing you out. Like you want to have emotional fulfillment, you want to have happiness, you want to have this new beginning. There's something here. And I think it's something to do with the change. Like what kind of what am I hearing? What kind of crap do I want to say yes to? Almost like one of those like Goosebumps books, choose your ending, right? But it's one of the horror ones. Like, what kind of and I don't mean to say that in a negative way, but I do feel like on either side there's gonna be this sort of peeling off of the band-aid. And I think you know that to some effect. But I also almost wonder if even if you make a decision, do you feel like you can follow through? And that's my question. I mean, truly, do you feel like even if you make a decision, do you truly feel like you can follow through? Or are you stuck on the fact you might even be like, am I a king of cups or I am a knight of cups? Do I mean well and I'm not able to like fully pull through on the thing, or am I this king of cups? I got it, you know? Am I going to drop it or am I going to fill it up with the things that I've collected? Do I have something to offer in my cup, or am I gonna, drop the ball? And I think that there's like this element of like real fear here. Or if the person that you're dealing with, are they going to be able to show up as a king of cups or are they going to drop the ball? You know? And which, and is that going to affect you in a sort of negative way? Because I do feel like there's this new beginning that you could find yourself in. That it's like ideally this would be really beautiful, but there's some things that both you and this person sort of need to work out. So I'm gonna pull some advice. I do think I'm gonna use this one, pull an advice line because I feel like you know. again, take it as it applies. Don't necessarily make a decision because your tarot reader told you to make a decision a certain way. But um, as far as, yeah, like this is their third party situation for sure, dude. Trying to decide between two people. Give me some advice for my pile two. This is too many. I feel like maybe also you need to have some conversations, like if you're stringing someone along or sort of dragging something out, especially, and at the, this is something I recently encountered in my own journey, relative to like client experiences and just people that I'm, encountered with. If you, and this is, my friend asked me what relative to truth, relative to authenticity, vulnerability, clarity, what ethically was appropriate when it came to information and sharing information. If if you are hiding something and there's a part of you that feels like there might be some level of incongruence or someone might be upset if they found something out, you're lying. If you're omitting information, you are lying. If you are purposefully curating stories and not being totally honest, if you have some attachment to the outcome of how someone perceives you and you're not able to say, yeah, I messed up here or I could have did better here, if you are curating your narrative to sort of fit a certain thing to make yourself feel and look better, um, that is manipulative and dishonest. And I feel like there's this element here of, and I don't see a dishonesty card, but I do feel like there's walls, like they feel like there's like walls. And with this Page of Swords and the Emperor, and this is why I'm saying this, there needs to be conversation. There needs to be a decision that's made, and there needs to be conversation because, again, dragging people along and hiding people from each other and being deceptive and Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, dude, you're like hung up. You're literally caught up. Intuition, using your intuition to like manifest the reality that you want. You have to do whatever you do, you have to do like confidently. Consciously is actually what I was going to say, but like shit, it's applicable, right? I also, there's that that Knight of Cups again. I also want to say, yeah, Ace of Swords in reverse. Truth either being hidden or maybe being revealed. Yeah, dude. Okay. Also, if you are avoiding breaking someone's heart, like you're literally getting yourself hung up. Okay. If you don't want to make a decision because you don't want to be a bad guy and it's stressing you out because you can't float all of these people, like you listen, you're gonna have to, oh my God. This is wild. This is a wild reading. I'm not gonna lie, pile two. I don't know. I was ready for this. Oh man. You, because listen, because listen, if you don't make a decision, Spirit's going to make a decision for you, or one of them will, and you're going to miss an opportunity that would otherwise have been really lovely. You are going to lose out on some kind of opportunity because you are playing these games, friend. You don't know. Okay, listen. Also, if you don't know if you're in a healthy enough mindset to step up to the plate, please do both of these people a favor and go to therapy and stop talking to both of them. Stop trying to soothe and, sort of bandage over your problems with other people. That's not how this works. Have the hard conversation. Don't be a punk about it, right? Have the hard conversation. You already know this is the first and the last card of the advice line. You already know this is too much. You already know this is too much. Have the hard conversation, make a decision on which one you want to go, pick your Queen of Wands, offer her a new beginning because you are hung up. You are hung up. Like this it has forward progression, it stops at the Wheel of Fortune, and it's because you don't want to hurt someone. You don't want to break anyone's heart. But not only are you like low key breaking both of their hearts, you're breaking your own and you're stalling everyone's progression. I don't normally take reversals, but the Wheel of Fortune was like, keep me upside down. You are stalling everyone's progression, including your own. You got to make a decision. That's what when I said I was like, I feel like it's gonna suck either way. This is why. This is why. This is why. This is why. It's gonna suck either way. So make a decision because what do they say? Whenever you get on a train, it's more expensive. Like the longer you wait to get off of it, the more expensive it is to find home, to find your way back. Yeah. So let's not do that. Okay. Because this is becoming too burdensome for you and you're getting hung up and you're stalling your and everyone else's progression. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the copper ore with the beautiful blue and like green patina. I hope I'm saying that correctly. This is going to be your reading. Your card is the Four of Pentacles. Now, this is the After Tarot deck, so it is not like the original tarot, and I will pull the original tarot just like show you what it looks like. It's supposed to essentially be moments after the original. So this is the original. He's holding on to his pentacles. He has it on his head. He has them under his feet. And then we move into the this package. We move into the After Tarot, where death or this sort of spooky ooky figure is coming for him, and he is gripping onto these pentacles even more tightly. Like he is not giving it up, right? And I think there's something to say, like perhaps you have gone through whatever this situation is, whether it's like a job or a location or a relationship, whatever, it's been a while that you have been in this situation because so much so that, you have changed. Maybe there's been some kind of transformation that's happened to you. You used to be a shiny sort of copper, similar to my, fabric here. And now you are an opposite color, mind you. You're very different. You've changed, and yet you're still, holding on to this situation. And I hear run its course. So perhaps the situation has run its course and you're still kind of like holding on, but holding on more tightly even. And if you look at, how he's kind of entrenched in this sort of like black cloak, right? He, his arms, he is distressed. Like he is clutching this thing. Look, he's kind of chilling here. His face is like, meh, I'm not gonna. But this guy is like, F off, like go away. This is my pentacles. This is the way that I do things. I've held on to, this is what I've done for so long. I've held on to things for so long that, I'm not gonna change. I'm not gonna change. I don't know if I put this thing up here for pile 2. And I definitely got this message of, so maybe this is something, maybe you guys are coming from pile 1 or pile 1 resonates with you as well. But this energy, like I've done this for so long that it's like, why would I don't want to change? I don't want to do anything else. Like I've been in this relationship for so long, just like holding on. And two things with the Four of Pentacles, I say that like um it has to do with like, yes, like holding on to things tightly, but also the perception of lack. Because after the Four of Pentacles comes the Five of Pentacles, and there's almost this insinuation, and you can kind of see it like here. There's this insinuation that, if he lets go, if he truly lets go, that he will experience loss. If he lets go and lets the progression of the cycle continue, he will end up in that Five of Pentacles and he will experience loss. So there's like this holding on to the situation so that he doesn't experience the loss. And I think that that was very much so like kind of the general message of pile one. So I almost wonder how this is going to be different than pile one, because again, it's your pile three. So again, maybe you have something in pile one, but this energy of like really holding on to maybe a lifestyle, a way of being, people, a home, a job. Yeah. So spirit. Oh, that just okay. That just didn't blend. Weird. That doesn't happen. So maybe you're not blending with someone anymore. Or maybe you've changed. You're again opposite. You have changed so much that you're not able to. What is happening? Why are my cards not shuffling? Yeah, okay. Like really like reconsideration. Do I want to continue to do this? Maybe you're not blending well with your coworkers. You know your truth. Maybe you're not blending well with your coworkers. Maybe you're not blending well with your partner. This has never been more difficult than it is in this moment. So maybe it feels like this is an uphill battle or that you're a little different because, again, the last two piles were crystals. This is not a crystal, this is an ore. So maybe you're a little different. Maybe you're different and you've changed, or you've changed and now you're different. Because again, this one is a little different from the other two piles. And where I say like the other two had to do with very like clarity, third eye energy, the world, some kind of completion. This copper ore is very much I keep hearing the word expansion, so I get this like expansive sort of exponentiating energy. Almost like you're ready to expand, but if we again from the progression from the four of coins to the five of coins, or the five of pentacles rather, we are expanding into loss. Essentially we are expanding into like this guy, and I mean honestly he's kind of coming anyway. So give me some clarity on this four of pentacles for pile three, please. God, Spirit, Source, please. The Empress. All right. Using your intuition to create a nourishing space. Okay. Seven of Swords, Ten of Wands, the Chariot. Into what? The Chariot into what? Maybe you were dishonest because you're not blending well with these people, or maybe like okay, if this is an office type situation, you're not being very forthcoming with things because you don't I don't feel like you particularly like these people. I think that you there are things about this situation that you just yeah, feels overburdensome, and you don't want to you don't want to deal with it almost. You want to move towards like happy beginnings. Um, or deck, can't make this shit up. Okay. What is the Seven of Swords and of Pentacles? I got three. Okay, hold on. I got three pentacle. I got three tens on the board. I got three tens on the board. What the Ten of Swords is missing. The Ten of Swords is missing. So this might not be devastating yet. Like the devastation element isn't here yet. The burdensome element, the like long-term sort of foresight vision element, the happily ever after element of all the other suits are here, right? Like all of these tens, this is a very long-term focused reading. Also, I'll note here that the Empress and the Emperor are both here, okay? Maybe to find your emperor, you have to drop this. Maybe you're telling yourself a lie like, oh, you know, I love living in the big city, honey. But you are a girl that wants to be around mountains and rivers, or whatever it is for you. If you don't want to live in the big city, stop lying to yourself because this is becoming overburdensome and move towards a happily ever after. You know your truth. You know you want to live in the mountains. You know that you don't want this job. You don't want to deal with these freaking coworkers anymore. So like stop lying to yourself. This isn't going to work out long term. So it's almost like this energy of like, why am I continuing to invest? Yeah, you have the confidence to be able to do this differently. You have the power, the knowledge, the wisdom, everything at your disposal, I would say. I mean, the magician, that's what I would say with the magician, but that, he's not on the board. Okay, so, but Spirit, what are we holding on to exactly? This 10 of Pentacles. Maybe this is a long-term marriage or partnership, or yeah, maybe you've grown with this person, you've changed with this person. Yeah, or you've watched this company, this business really, you've watched it grow, you've watched it change, you've watched it progress, you've watched, maybe your children are now adults. Maybe this is, you've done the thing with this empress and you're the emperor or you're the empress and your emperor is, your husband or something to that effect. And maybe your children are now grown, they're adults, and you don't want to do this anymore. Or maybe, you're not the page of wands you used to be. You're a queen now. And so again, there's this, I don't have the same lack of confidence that I used to. I'm more confident now. I am more confident in my ability to, go forward because again, we have the chariot card, but this forward movement, this eight of wands, this forward movement into the emperor. Where are we wanting to go, Spirit? Where are we wanting to go? Three of Cups. Okay. Wanting to have more fun. Where is that's too many. Give me give me I'm really feeling a coworker angle. I really am feeling a coworker angle. Maybe there's someone that you actually really care about, but like to leave the workspace, you have to also say yes to like leaving the coworker that you care about. So I'm like, where are we ultimately going here? This three of cups and this three of swords. Having a little bit more fun, but also, it's like heartbreak. Be careful, I will say, be careful not to indulge too much in like drinking, partying, or otherwise. Um, hmm. Okay. Now, if this isn't you lying to yourself here, if you are being dishonest with another because you don't want, I feel like a lot, again, like you don't want it to end, right? Like perhaps you were in a third party situation, and you want this long term, you want the happily ever after, um, or maybe you're wanting to move towards the third party. Okay, I'm gonna put this back in, but I'm going to grab. And then I feel like we need to grab the tarot. You know what? We will see. Now, I will say this is like the second time I've ever used this deck, and it's still very new. The cards are still kind of stiff, and it's probably one of my decks that I am like least familiar with. Just lovers. When I broke the deck, yeah, this is definitely a love reading. Um, and then The Ten of Swords. There she is. I feel like now that I have had my eyeballs on all of the tens, this, I really feel like it's quite possible that this cycle has come to a completion. Give me two cards. What exactly is my question here? What are we hoping? What are we hoping for the outcome? What are we hoping for the outcomes? Spirit, what are we hoping for the outcomes? What are we hoping for the outcome? What are we hoping for the outcome? What are we hoping for the outcome? And sorts of four wands up and sorts of great. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're hoping for this stress to become a victory. We're hoping that this really stressful situation will become some sort of victory. You're wanting, and I think you kind of know that you're not going to be able to like escape or evade the pain. I feel like there's pain here that's gonna have to be felt. Give me advice. Give me advice for my pile threes. Because this is, I don't need, we gotta keep going. This is a hot mess. Sorry, not sorry. We're not doing reversals. Just give me the sun, the page of swords. Where's the deck going to the big one? It's not that many. I was like, I'm not taking those. We have the page of swords, and what else we got? King of Swords. We have the King of Swords again. Queen of Pentacles. What's the advice, Spirit? Okay. Okay. Well, you won't know until you, it's too many. You won't know until you like try, right? You won't know until you actually, I'm gonna say like take a leap of, even though is the Fool even on the board? It's not. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting, like, here goes nothing kind of vibe, you know? Okay, I almost wonder if this is someone that you've been having nightmares about or dreams about. Maybe like that's, maybe you've been seeing them in your sleep or seeing them in your dreams, this Queen of Wands. This is someone, whoever this person is, because y'all, the Queen of Wands and the King of Swords have come up like twice. So this individual, and we have the Queen of Pentacles. This is another energy. Yes, there's a third party situation. There's a third party situation. And I almost wonder if and again, third parties don't have to be romantic. It can be like a coworker thing. It can be a work opportunity, a friendship. Like let's say you've grown out of this friendship and you're like, I just want to have friends that don't gossip, and I know that's going to break this person's heart because I've been friends with them for so freaking long and I don't want to let them go, but this is no longer for me. And this queen of, and this king of swords rather, this queen of wands here is like, oh, well, you think that you're so, or maybe you're the queen of wands, fiery sort of Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, and you're looking at this King of Swords, like, you have your truth and you have the way that you do things, but I personally want something else. I've grown. I've come from the page to the Queen, and long term wise, I really don't want to lie to myself. I want healthy friendships. I want a job that is, you know, providing me happiness as well as, long-term fulfillment, because maybe you're getting up there in age and you're like, I'm too freaking old to, restart. Maybe you're considering like, the next time that I get married, I'm going to get married for good. Or maybe you're wanting to leave this marriage and deciding that you're going to go ahead and explore your options and you're going to decide, um, but you're struggling with the idea of actually leaving it because you have been in this, and you've changed in this relationship for so long, or maybe that is the reason why you're leaving it because you have changed, because you've been in this relationship for so long. But again, there's still this holding that happens. So, maybe you are in pile two because I believe there was like a third party situation in there that felt more love focused. This one, or like tangible, like money focused. But this one, it feels almost like not that you are trying to make a decision between two people per se. This feels a little bit more like you trying to make the decision between who you want to be as a person and like how you're showing up almost. Like, I'm not going to celebrate that, we talked smack or whatever. Maybe we all get drunk and sort of just cry, and that's really toxic. And I want to I want to actually, instead of drinking alcohol and feeling sad for myself, I want to walk and drink and be happy and, enjoy my friendships. But this friend group has been my friends for so long. I don't want to break anyone's heart. I don't want to walk away. And yet, there's this desire to do just that. The resistance I feel like is in this bit of dishonesty relative to how you this feels like self, like you're lying to yourself, honestly. I mean, we could read it like you're lying to someone else, but if I'm being totally honest, this feels like you're lying to yourself. Lying to yourself. And I don't know if this Queen of Pentacles is this, this might just be this like energy of, your desire to embody this stable, tangible new beginning and embrace your fiery confidence. Knowing that you have the capacity to bring different friendship groups in, different coworkers. Because again, there's like this feels like more relative to like groups of people, but also like who you are within that group of people, who you are within that social sphere or that positioning. It's like you're trying to, almost like you're trying to be someone that you're not. And this is causing a lot of, I think, stress. Like maybe they're wanting you to be the version of yourself that you used to be, and you're just not. And because you've had so much growth, the king to the emperor, because you've had so much growth, you're kind of looking at this like I'm different, I've changed. And that's okay. That's a beautiful thing. So relative to, if this is a business, if this is a marriage, if this is a friendship, it just feels like there's so much space and stuff in between these two. And the reason why I'm saying that it's actually like a self-imposed lie, because like if we're being honest, these are two major arcana cards, and the major arcana cards I usually read for the person that I'm reading for. The court cards are like other people. And I did read this as you and another person, but it could just be in the context of it being your arcana types. It's like the feminine sort of intuitive part of you and then the masculine action part of you, that you want a happily ever after, but you're lying to yourself and how you're going to get there. And if you continue to lie to yourself, you're going to continue to overburden yourself and you're not going to get where you want to get. And I don't know if I said that you might have messages in pile number one or two. Definitely check those out if it feels alive, because one of them was talking about getting yourself hung up. And I feel like there's a little bit of a sprinkle of aliveness. Well, granted, this is like, what are you avoiding? So all of you guys are getting hung up on something, but there's definitely, instead of it being a choice between two, like pile two was, or like, I forget what pile one was. I guess it doesn't matter. This feels more like, who do I want to be in this social sphere? Who am I? Am I still this page or am I a queen? I hope that helps.